This is Penn and Teller Masterclass notes for This is Penn and Teller Masterclass episode 7. Lying was it magic versus lying? So I just they end the episode with the best part. The best quote is a magician should be an honest liar. You have to realize that they don't talk about the audio. They take the stance that everything goes on to the performer to make sure the audience knows everything. But I think you have to walk into a magic show knowing that it's just magic and it's not real. I know there are people there may be people that think, I don't think there really are, except for little kids, I guess, but to show that you're lying or do something that's a lie, basically, then not necessarily, well, I mean, it is giving a clear mention that this is just a magic trick and never to get lost in your own thing, I guess. This is something that's always been interesting to me, because you realize that you're being lied to. You realize that the woman isn't sawed into halves, and you realize that, I don't know. To me, it's just obvious, and it's just a proof of hard work and talent. Maybe it takes a lot of work to be able to make something disappear or shuffle cards right. I mean, just shuffling cards like they do is super hard. So. I'm looking at the description. To convince an audience, you need to encourage them to arrive at the conclusion of their own. So you go through the motions, and the motions make you assume that the action was taken, even though it hasn't been, because you need to do something else to make the trick work, right? So that's interesting. That's having to manipulate. Manipulate's kind of a strong word, but I mean, to get to, the audience to just believe everything that you're saying and not pay attention to all the nuance of everything. I think that's what this whole thing boils down to. Penn and Teller discussed their philosophy of the deception inherent in magic. Well, yeah, magic is all about deception. That's from top to bottom. If you don't know that going in, you're probably going to be deceived. It doesn't mean that you're dumb. It just means that maybe you don't know, or I don't know. I mean, I go back to the example of little kids, because little kids see that and they're amazed by it. Someone who's my age should go, that was a lot of talent and a lot of work. I respect that very much. That's how I always see magic, especially really good magicians like they show on Penn and Teller's Fool List. They always have. That's the thing I always walk away thinking, is like, that guy put a lot of work into that act. She's probably been doing it since she was 8. She's 25 now. It's just the work that goes into making something look, even that, I mean, that's not necessarily lying, that's just a lot of hard work. But I mean, putting a lot of work into something to make it look like you didn't do something, I guess, is what magic kind of boils down to, at least in my perception. So masterclass, I think I may have talked longer than the episode. It was a short one, so I was like, oh man, I don't want to talk too long, and then I'm talking too long. Episode 7, magic versus lying. Penn and Teller Masterclass, Penn and Teller episode or series. It's really fun. I just am a fan to begin with. So on to episode 8.